something I wanna talk about. Come on. Listen now. I know a young lady.
That's all I want. That's all we got to do after the board meeting. Dice. How's everything? 95 and 55. The little guy now. Black shepherd. So that's good. And I lift every day. I got my brothers. I gotta protect. Come on, man. It's so you stay young and stay in shape. At my age. That's the truth. What's your name?
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to call our regular board meeting to order at 7:35 p.m. We're located in the Village of Broadview Municipal Building, 2350 South 25th Avenue. Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham. Here. Trustee Chamalave is absent. Trustee Senior. Here. Trustee Shelby. Here. Trustee Armour. Here. Trustee Miller is absent. Madam President, we do have a quorum. Can we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Please let the record reflect that Trustee Miller has arrived to the meeting at 7:36 p.m. I'll now read the Pledge of Civility. In the interest of civility, I pledge to promote civility by listening, being respectful of others, acknowledging that we are all striving to support and improve our community, and understanding that we each may have different ideas for achieving that objective. Now I'll ask for a moment of silence. Thank you. All right, next, I'll entertain a motion at this time to take the board meeting out of regular order and go straight to item 10A, swearing in of officers. Can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to take the swearing in of police officers. Second.
Okay, can I get a second? It's been properly motioned by Trustee Shelby, seconded by Trustee Armour. I'll take a quick roll call. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave is absent. Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour. Trustee Miller.
Yes.
Okay, and this carries 5-0 to take the regular board meeting out of order. So we are now on item 10A, swearing in of probationary police officers. And we're going to do these one at a time, but I will read the officers' names currently for the record. Calvin D. Brooks, Carmen Calvillo, Trevor J. Hicks, and Jennifer Portillo. So can I please have new officer Calvin D. Brooks to join me up here at the front, please? Thank you, Mr. Chief. Okay, can you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? State your name after.
I, Calvin Brooks,
Having been appointed to the office of police officer
have been appointed to the officer of police officer
in the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois,
in the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, and State of Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of Illinois,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the Broadview Police Department
of the Broadview Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, officer.
Just a few words about Calvin Brooks. He's from Plainfield, Illinois. He is currently a reservist in our armed forces. Thank you for your service. He claims he's a basketball player, but I'll let Chap and some of our officers fill that out later on. But he did complete Celia, and he went to Plainfield, and then he has since come to us under the lateral program. So it's a pleasure and an honor to have someone. Like I said, he's still serving his country, so he'll have to leave us 1 weekend per month, and I think, 2 weeks a year, something like that. But again, what an honor to have someone who serves both roles in public service and for his country. Thank you.
Okay, can I now have Carmen up? Okay, can you raise your right hand, please, and repeat after me? I, Carmen Calvillo,
I, Carmen Calvillo,
having been appointed to the office of police officer
having been appointed to the office of police officer
in the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois,
in the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the Broadview Police Department
of the Broadview Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So a little bit about Carmen Calvillo. She's previously worked for the Cook County Sheriff's Department as a dispatcher. So she's been in the game of law enforcement and as a first responder for some years now. She's happily married to her husband Alex for 6 years, and they reside in Oak Lawn with 2 amazing dogs. And I will share this. This is a dog-loving community here. Right, Commissioner? Yes. Her goal is to become a canine officer, so I guess that's something we need to look into. Okay.
Can I add, Chief, to Officer Padilla? She is the first Latina officer to serve in the Village of Broadview. First Latina woman to serve in the Village of Broadview.
Okay, can I please have Trevor up front? Can you please raise your right hand and repeat after me?
I, Trevor Hicks,
Having been appointed to the office of police officer
having been appointed to the office of police officer
in the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois,
in the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the Broadview Police Department
of the Broadview Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability. Thank you, sir.
Okay, a little bit about Trevor. He's a young man, 23 years old, just graduate of Benedictine University with dual degrees in criminal justice and sociology. He hails from Wheaton. He's a lifelong passion for baseball, played in college, and he's real big on camaraderie and family bonds. His goal is to move up the ranks, join our special response team, and become a firearms instructor. And his fervent commitment to ongoing learning underscores his aspiration to serve his community with utmost dedication and proficiency as a law enforcement officer. Okay. Thank you.
Finally, can I have Jennifer up here? Okay, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I,
Jennifer Portillo,
having been appointed to the office of police officer
having been appointed to the office of police officer
in the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois,
in the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the Broadview Police Department
of the Broadview Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
A little bit about Jennifer. She's a 32-year-old mother of a sweet and social 7-year-old. She did as well, started her career in law enforcement as a dispatch for the West Suburban Dispatch Center in 2020, and she decided to become a police officer because she felt there was still more that she could offer, and that's huge. So she's already been in the game, listening to these calls, and if people are not familiar, our dispatchers are literally the first responders. They get the calls, they take all of our excitement when we're calling 911 before these officers are even assigned. They're the ones screening the call. So to have like Carmen and Jennifer, they come in with experience, maybe not as police officers, but just to know they have that calming force already and know how to answer questions and ask questions, which is huge. And I just want to make one more comment. He's not being sworn in today, but we have a new officer, Officer Jonathan Ridgener. He'll be next month's board. So today is his first day. He's coming from Chicago as a lateral. We have one more, Rodale Noriega. He hasn't started because he's a very professional individual. He wanted to give his 2 weeks of park for us before he left, so he could not leave, I think, what is the 8th or something like that? The 11th, then he'll come on board. But all the paperwork is due, and I want to thank Commissioner Turner and the Police and Fire and all the trustees and the mayor. As you see, Broadview's growing, diverse in every way. 6 new officers. We had a rough time, but we're moving forward. Good. So again, thank you.
Wait, Chief Mills, before we let the families go, I want to ask the Board of Trustees, did they have any comments for the newly sworn-in officers? Trustee Abraham?
Yes, I just want to welcome everybody. I want to thank them, and just be safe out there. And thank you again for serving our community and protecting us. Welcome to our family.
Thank you. Trustee Senior?
Yeah, the same thing. Just please be safe. But you're in Broadview, so you're doing a really good job. So you'll be good. Just go home at night.
Yes.
Yep, and congratulations to all of you guys again. And gentlemen, ladies, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Trustee Shelby?
Yes, congratulations. Stay safe. You're in my prayers. And welcome to Broadview. We loved having you here. And I'm so proud of you all.
Yes. Thank you, Trustee Armour.
Well, welcome to Broadview, and we are a small town, family-oriented, lots of wonderful activities to keep you engaged, and congratulations again. I'm very excited to see all this, we're representing.
Thank you, Trustee Miller.
I'll mirror what everyone else said. Thank you. I'm glad to see younger faces. No shade to our more senior faces, but being a parent of young adults, I'm glad to see that you guys are taking an initiative to join our police department. But yeah, make it home safely every night and make sure our community is safe.
Thank you, Trustee Miller. So I would like to say, to finalize the comments for the newly sworn in officers, we are excited that you are a part of our team. It's been a long time coming to put our police department fully staffed, so I'm looking at the white shirt, so I know it's refreshing to them that they have more officers to help them do their job and to be effective. My only command that I give a directive to all police officers is your only responsibility is to make it home at the end of your shift, because the people that love you the most is sitting right next to you. So that's the only thing that I ask, and that's my directive, make it home at the end of your shift. I also want to say that Broadview, we promote diversity in a huge, impactful way. And so just seeing the newly sworn in officers, tonight we swore in 2 Latina officers that's females. And when we create diversity within our police departments, that's what communities is really about. It's how we interact with one another. And we have to learn to embrace how we interact with one another. So I'm inviting all of the families to come out on June 14th through the 16th to our Juneteenth Fest. And this is how we promote the black culture, the black community. This is a predominantly black community, and we embrace culture heavily, regardless of what your ethnicity is. But we want you to learn, be educated, and come out and celebrate with us. So we have this big event every year, and I know the newly sworn officers, I know they're going to be working. So we encourage the families to come out and hang out with your officers to see what the community, how we love on our officers and how we interact with our police officers. The kids, they embrace the police department. They give ideas to the police department. We have photos of police officers interacting like who play basketball? Somebody play, which one of the officers play basketball? So get ready, because they do have these friendly competitions. I know the adults try to take over the kids, but the kids, they do be balling, I'm just saying. But we embrace that, and we want you all to do a really good job for us. All of us that sit in this body, we all live here. So, of course, we're going to have a different lens on what we expect. But again, my only directive for you all that got sworn in tonight, make it home at the end of your shift, because the people that love you the most don't live in Broadview. So thank you and congratulations, and welcome to the team.
Okay, we are now back in session. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to return to the regular order of business.
Motion to reconvene and go back to the regular order of business.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Miller, seconded by Trustee Armour, to return to the regular order of business. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, we are now going back to item 2, public comment. I received no public comment request, so we'll go to item 4. Item 3, Presentations, we have none. Item 4, communications. I do have a couple of things to read real quickly. Give me 1 second. All right, so I'm going to read the summarized version of these. You can definitely get more information by calling the clerk's office, or if you are not already enrolled in our robocalls or our constant contact with emails, please do so, because all of this information does go through there on a regular basis. So first, Juneteenth, a community celebration Saturday, June 8th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. over at the Broadview Library. We'll have our raising of the flag, and I will share more details if you call in for that. Next, please join us for a pre-Father's Day cookout Saturday, June 8th, over at the Garden of Prayer Church, 2001 South 17th Avenue. And I don't have a time for that, but again, call for more information. I should have some by then. Next, Lindop School District 92 meet and greet of Isaac Keys, Thursday, June 13th, 2023, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. You can RSVP via email. The time is, again, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. Call Lindop School for more information. Next, the Broadview Business Association, Art and Business. We want you to create, and we want you to show the world what you create. And this is going to be on Thursday, June 13th, from 6 o'clock to 9 p.m. at the View, 1701 Roosevelt Road in Broadview. Call for more information. Next, the 15th Annual Juneteenth Family Pool Celebration on June 15th. Join us Saturday, and this is the Forest Park Aquatic Center, Saturday, June 15th from 6:45 to 10 p.m., 7501 West Harrison in Forest Park. Next, Speaker of the House, Emmanuel Chris Welch's 3rd Annual Juneteenth Festival on Wednesday, June 19th, 2024 from 1 to 5 p.m. This is being held over at the Memorial Park District, 639 North Wolf Road in Hillside. Next, Juneteenth celebrations, June 19th, 2024, Freedom Walk and flag raising ceremony for Westchester. At 9:45, the lineup will start at the Broadview Missionary Baptist Church, and the flag raising at 10:45 and lasting till noon at Village Hall. Call Village Hall, Westchester for more information. And last but not least, Broadview's 3-day event, Juneteenth, African American and the Arts, June 14th through June 16th. DJ Ron Steele and our very own Miss Maisha Owens, a.k.a. Yas Hunty, are at the microphone, at the DJ, and at the Mistress of Ceremonies. And we have some really, really good acts and bands. We have our Soul to the Bone on Sunday for the Blues Day and Conquest the Band. Theo Huff as our headliner on Saturday. And we're going to end it all with a special guest, Maurice Mahan, on Sunday evening and leading us into our fireworks celebration. Again, June 14th through June 16th, our Juneteenth celebration. That concludes our communications, Madam President. All right, next is item 5, consideration to approve the following minutes. And before we go through these minutes, I will say that I did receive corrections on the May 6 minutes that were tabled from the last board meeting. So the first minutes we're going to consider are minutes from the May 6, 2024 regular board meeting, which were tabled from the last meeting. Need a motion. It's been properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Abraham. Madam President.
Thank you. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments for the May 6 meeting?
No questions.
Thank you. Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Armour?
No questions.
Trustee Miller?
No.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk.
Roll call. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalave is absent. Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour.
No.
Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 4-1. Thank you all. Next, minutes from the May 20th, 2024 regular board meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Miller, seconded by trustee Abraham. Madam President.
Thank you, trustee Abraham. You have any questions or comments?
None.
Trustee Senior? No questions. Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Armour?
I received these minutes this afternoon, and I did have a chance to actually do my due diligence by going through, but I didn't have an opportunity to send the clerk the updates. So I would like to call you all's attention to the changes and respectfully ask if these updates can be included if they haven't already.
I would ask one of the trustees to make a super meeting motion to table the minutes.
I'll make a supersede motion to table to the next board meeting.
I'll second it.
Thank
Okay.
you.
It's been properly superseding motion made by trustee Miller and seconded by trustee Armour to table these minutes from May 20th, 2024's regular board meeting till the next meeting. I'll take a roll call. Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave is absent. Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Shelby?
Yes.
Trustee Armour?
Yes.
Trustee Miller?
Yes.
And these minutes will be tabled to the next regular board meeting in July. Thank you. Next, item 6, consideration to approve expenditures. Grand total of all funds, $485,485.04 for the period ending 5/29/2024.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Senior, seconded by trustee Abraham. Madam President.
Thank you. Trustee Shelby, the finance chairwoman, will you please read the warrant list?
Yes, I'll read the warrant list. I haven't heard from anyone stating that they had any discrepancies with the warrant list or anything, so the vendors would be the Admin Consulting Specialist LLC for $4,500, Armor Security Group PLLC, $4,140, Associate Technical Services Ltd, $15,193.20. AT&T, $8,285.92. Big Blue Box, $4,130. Black Eagle Security LLC, $3,240. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, $144,819.64. Comcast Business, $4,542.49. ComEd, in the amount of $3,768.47. Core and Main LP, $10,842.78. David Owensby Incorporated, $3,000. Delgado Law Group LLC, $8,043.50. Edwin Hancock Engineering Company, $125,095.72. Federal Rent Offense, $2,510.76. Fire Service Incorporated, $8,420.78. Geno's Heating and Plumbing Incorporated, $72,381.31. Johnny Lamar Williams Jr., $3,500. Lincoln National Life Insurance, $6,066.89. Mid-American Water, $5,247.66. Music Magic Moments, $2,500. Patino's Music LLC, $8,535. Ray O'Haron Company Incorporated, $6,925.47. Rogue Production LLC, $8,500. Service Sanitation Incorporated, $2,960. Site One Landscape Supply, $3,023.85. Special Event Rentals Incorporated, $4,420. Van Sherrod and Associates, $2,900. And the West Cook County Solid Waste Agency in the amount of $13,291.20. The total expenditures over $2,500 came to $490,784.64, which is 94% of our total expenditures in the amount of $524,485.04. We had some manual payments, and these vendors were for the Juneteenth celebration. We had Big Hat Artist Management. The date of the check was May the 21st, 2024. Check number 86319 in the amount of $1,750. Crunch Time Production Incorporated, date May the 21st, 2024, check number 86320 in the amount of $550. We had Party Central Fund, LLC. Date of the check was May the 28th, 2024. Check number 86324 in the amount of $2,100. Taz J. Carpenter, date of check 5/21/2024. Check number 86321 in the amount of $100. Theo Huff, date May the 21st, 2024. Check number 86322 in the amount of $1,750. And Valerie Lanate, date May the 21st, 2024. Check number 86323 in the amount of $200. The total of the manual payments was $6,450. We also had an electronic payment, and the vendor was Chase Credit Card, payments reflecting as of April the 25th, 2024, in the amount of $22,072.21. The following accounts were affected by these expenditures. The general fund account in the amount of $276,681.41. We had the garbage fund in the amount of $13,291.20. The motor fuel tax fund in the amount of $17,709.87. We had the CDBG fund in the amount of $10,563, and the Roosevelt Road TIF fund in the amount of $2,400. We had the 17th Avenue TIF North, $48.75. The Capital Projects Fund in the amount of $89,128.97. The Water and Sewage Fund in the amount of $114,661.84, again for a grand total of $524,485.04. And Madam President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Shelby. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
None.
Trustee Senior? No questions. Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Armour?
No questions.
Trustee Miller?
No.
Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Roll call. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalavi is absent. Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Oh, yes.
Trustee Armour.
Yes.
Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 5-0. Thank you all. Next, item 7, application for the authority to expend funds. We have none. Item 8, committee reports, which are given at every first meeting. And just let me remind everyone, we are now on our summer schedule, one meeting per month through the month of September. We'll start with our business license committee. Trustee Armour.
No report.
Thank you. Next, police and fire committee. Trustee Miller.
No report.
Thank you. Finance committee. Trustee Shelby.
Yes. I have something that I need to say from my heart. I don't do a lot of talking. But at the last board meeting, I was blindsided. And I'm a little disappointed because I'm transparent, I'm honest, and I'm here representing the residents and the Village of Broadview. I work on this finance report. I come in this village maybe twice a week. I talk to the finance director, Tom Hood, if I have issues. I even go to Administrator Jones. I go to the mayor. I have opened a line of communication with the trustees that if you see something that I may not see, let me know, because that's why they put erasers on pencils, because if a mistake is made, it can be corrected. At the last meeting, Trustee Armour, I've always told you, if you have a problem, if you see something that I don't see, please come and tell me, so it can be resolved before we get up on this platform. Because our bills for this village has to be paid. Now, you abstain for paying the bills. Say it was just not enough trustees up here to approve those bills, our bills would not get paid. And in checking with the mayor and with the director, there was no error, there was nothing wrong. What you found, I don't know where it came from, but I always ask you to come and talk to me, because we're here to do a job together. And to blindside someone, I would never do that to anyone. I work with all of you guys up here, and it's a pleasure working with you, but we need to do better with this. If you find something wrong on this finance report that I work on, let me know, so it could be corrected, because it can be corrected. And after that, I would like to turn it over to the Finance Director, Tom Hood. Can you come to the podium? So you can clarify the statement that Trustee Armour made publicly at the last board meeting.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
And for the general public, all of the trustees got an email today where I basically showed how the report that is presented for the 2,500 and over needs to tie back to the system-generated report. So if there's any question, you should be able to take your total expenditures plus your manual payments, and that should always equal the total distributions. Now, you wouldn't add in the electronic payments because there's not going to be a check cut for those. And for the one that was in question last board meeting, I printed out both documents, illustrated how they tied out, and I took it one step further. I took the system-generated text document, converted it to Excel, and sorted and summed it by the check totals, which also tied out to all these numbers. You guys shouldn't have to go to that step. You can if you know how to use Excel, but the big thing to check here is to make sure your total distributions equals what we're going to pay out in total expenditures and any manual checks. So that total distributions is your check total, and all the details for those checks are in the attached report that isn't manually produced. It's produced by the system through our accounts payable module.
So the $13,000, that was an error, that was not?
It was $3,000. Yeah,
The
yeah,
$3,000, I'm
my
sorry.
guess is that as you're going through here and trying to manually do this, it's tough. And something got missed. I mean, there's one in here exactly for 3,000, and that would be my guess. That's probably the one that got missed. Or it could be two numbers that added together to equal 3,000. But the total of everything in the system that we're going to cut a check for equals the end of this report. And when you take our manual checks, and add the total expenditures, which is everything over 2,500 and everything under 2,500, they should tie back to the system.
Okay.
And they do this week. They did for the last.
Okay,
the
well,
last one that was in question.
Okay, well, I thank you for that. So in the future, if there is any discrepancies that anyone find, can you please let us know before we have our board meeting so it could be corrected?
Can I interject something here?
And that's the end of my report, and we can go on from there.
Thank you.
Trustee Armour, you want to say something?
Thank you. First of all, I do communicate. I communicate with the people that are there. And Tom has been here for me. He's answered my questions, and that last, for the warrant list for May 14th, that warrant list was the only thing that I was asking him about. And when I got here, when I saw you, I don't always have time to call everybody, but I will, going forward, if this is making you feel uncomfortable, I will go for, as we go forward, I will include you in some of my communications to the finance director. It's no problem,
Okay,
okay?
and I've asked
And
you that for a
I'm
couple
sorry that I've
years.
caused you any stress, okay?
No, it's no stress, it's just communication. You
Well-
know, because we need to work together. We're here representing this
I
village,
agree.
and we need to be
I
on the
agree.
same accord.
I agree.
Okay?
But
Thank
I
you.
also want to say that the report that you responded to in the email, Tom, wasn't the report that I was inquiring about. And if you take your system, that procedure that you just said, it's simple addition. It's not hard, right? It's not hard what I'm talking about. If you take, everything is supposed to add up. It's supposed to balance. Today's report balanced. That's why I didn't say anything. As I said before, I am here to serve the public as well, but we all can be better at communication. But what I'm saying is that it's important that if you want that from me, it has to be balanced. Everything has to be balanced. Y'all, you want me to communicate, you have to be there and you have to answer my questions and you have to answer the inquiries and respond to them. Otherwise, there is no other way for me to, get any answers until in the public.
You have my phone number.
Okay, going forward, I heard you.
Okay.
I heard you. So I just want to say that if I send an inquiry, I do expect to receive a response to the inquiry in the same manner in which I send it. I mean, that's professional. I'm a communicator and I'm a professional. And it's important that if that's what you want, you have to do it as well. So Tom, you said right now that you found the $3,000 that I was concerned about at last meeting.
From the one, when you came in on Thursday, the one we looked at, it balanced all across. There was nothing missing.
Okay,
I
well,
will
that was
look
the
at
only.
Okay, so-
514.
That was,
Let's move
So,
on.
so we need to move on from this. Trustee Armour, is that all you have to say?
that's all I have to say, and
Thank you.
thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. So I will say this to wrap it up. When we give out misinformation, showing lack of, that creates a lack of public trust. And so the reason why I believe trustee, and it's for all of the trustees, when we have communication, each trustee chair a committee. And if there's something that's coming up in the committee, and the most important committee that we have that's the most active, the trustee that participates the most is the finance chair. She is up here at least 2 times out of the week. Every week she's up here at least twice a week to ask questions about the finances. And so, and I know for a fact that she has always had an open dialogue with every trustee to ask any questions that you have. No one is going to pick up the phone and personally call you, Trustee Armour, when you have concerns, or talk to you when you have concerns. We are all very, very busy. The department heads are busy, and as I've heard on this platform that many of the trustees work during the day, so they don't even have time to do the operations because they're working their full-time jobs. And so in all due respect, when we talk about being professional, be professional, but also recognize that the person that you're seeking information from may not be able to get that to you within a timely fashion. And so the department heads, they know to respond within 48 hours. That way it gives them time to do whatever they need to do in their day-to-day operations, but they will respond. And on the weekend, they have a right to be off. We work Monday through Friday. The village got off building hours. But when it comes to board discussions or board matters, the directive that's been given to the leadership here in Broadview has send a text message to the department head to get your questions answered. I don't even get the text messages, but I get these long emails on Sunday evenings. And so I don't do anything for the Village of Broadview on a Sunday because that's the only day I really get off. I'm working 6 days a week making sure that we can maintain the core, to make sure that we stay professional, to make sure that we included in whatever is taking place with the municipality. But to pinpoint to handhold each trustee, that's really not even practical for us to do. So thank you, Director Hood. Mr. Clerk, who's next on the agenda?
All right, thank you, Madam President. That concludes the Finance Committee's report. Next is the Building and Public Property. Trustee Chamalave was absent today. Does anyone have anything in their stead?
No.
Okay, thank you, Madam President. Next, Water, Drainage, and Health. Trustee Senior.
Yes. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Although I do not have a formal report, I just want to inform the residents that the Broadview Westchester Joint Water Agency is proposing a 1.5 million gallon reservoir instead of the originally planned 1.0 million gallon reservoir. The reservoir will be located in Broadview, and I am planning to host a Water Drainage Committee meeting by the end of the summer to discuss this further. Thank you. That's the end of my report.
Okay, thank you, Trustee. Next is Street, Sidewalks, and Alleys. Trustee Abraham.
I don't have a report, but I would like to yield to Director Ames to discuss some of the upgrades, changes at Public Works. If you'd like to come up here to give everybody a heads up. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Evening.
Trustee Abraham, is there anything specific that you,
I think she's specifically talking about the Public Works facilities being upgraded.
all the
So
facility?
we can get everybody.
Oh, the upgrades? Okay, all right. Well, hopefully, we'll have before you a notice of contract awards, and hope that you guys will approve the vendors or the contractors that's been identified to help us with the renovations of the Public Works facility. So we've got DECO funding to fund the renovations of this facility. And what we decided to do, and of course, the entire RFQ advertising packet and those that responded will be presented to the mayor's clerk's office and shared with the corporate authorities. But basically, we're renovating everything from the roof to the overhead garage doors, to the bricks, to the mechanical, electrical, plumbing upgrades. So everything that pretty much we had to do here in this facility, we're going to do down at the Public Works facility. And there's also another thing that we'll be doing. So I will be managing the project myself. I know that we did solicit at least 2 firms to act as construction managers, and by acting as the manager for this project, for which I'm very well qualified with certifications for every aspect of it, we'll be saving more than $1.1 million. So we're excited about that. So
Are you charging the village anything for it?
no, I cannot.
As the project?
I cannot.
I was just asking.
Right, no. So I will use my personal expertise to make sure that the project is, it moves forth, according to all standards and guidelines, and we will be reporting. But no, I do this absent any monetary compensation for obvious reasons. So, but those savings that we're looking to gain at the Public Works facility, we also want to share with our park district. I believe the mayor wants to assist in renovating the pool over there. So we'll have some funds to, if nothing else, help them with that project. So, and I may have gone off topic, Trustee Abraham, but is there anything else?
No, I just wanted to give everybody a little bit of a taste of what was going on.
A little taste.
Start crossing the Ts and dotting the Is and bring the paperwork and the costs and all that. So I just wanted to make sure it was introduced. They have an idea of what's going to be happening.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Looking forward to providing some consistent heat and the air conditioning around there for the staff that do work in the office, and most certainly the guys that have to get in and out of the building safely. So, that it?
That's it.
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you, Mr. Clark.
Okay, thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Mr. Director. Next is item 9, old business. We have none. Item 10, new business. We've already taken care of A, swearing in of the officers. We'll go to item B, a resolution authorizing and approving expenses related to Trustee Andrea Senior and Trustee Sheila Armour's attendance at the National Black Caucus of Local Elected Officials, NBC Leo, Summer Conference for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Armour. Madam President, open for discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. So this is in our budget for this fiscal budget. The conference is from June 25th to June 28th, which is during the week. The trustees for the conference and program registration is $375, and for lodging is $807. And so that's in the budget for the trustees to be able to participate. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
No questions.
Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Shelby?
So we're approving, sometimes I have a problem with some of this because we approve for going to conferences and all of that, but when it comes down to paying the bills, we have to abstain. No questions.
Thank you. Trustee Armour?
No questions.
Trustee Miller?
No questions.
So Trustee Shelby, I hear you. Would you like us to separate the agenda items for trustee travels and you all individually approve for travel?
I really don't operate, I would like to do that, but I really don't operate like that because I work from my heart. And I don't want to separate anyone, but I want everybody to be aware that I sit up here and I can approve this because it's in the budget, but then we have to abstain paying the village bills. I have a
Understood.
problem with that sometimes, but, I'll go along with this.
Thank you. I understand.
abstain.
Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Chamalabe is absent. Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Shelby?
Yes.
Trustee Armour?
Yes.
Trustee Miller?
Yes.
Thank you all, and this carries 5-0. Next, item C, a resolution authorizing and approving expenses related to attendance at the International Council of Shopping Centers, ICSC, conference in Las Vegas, Nevada, for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
I second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Shelby. Madam President.
Thank you. So this conference is in our budget for this fiscal year. I had the opportunity to go to Las Vegas for the International Council of Shopping Centers Conference that was held in Las Vegas, Nevada from May 18th through May 21st. The cost of the conference was $1,050. The cost for the hotel accommodations was $750, and the airfare was $491.96. It is in the line item for the mayor to travel on official business. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments? No. Trustee Senior?
No questions.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Armour?
One comment I wanted to say. We are approving a trip that you've already gone on the trip. And I'm thinking, I feel like we're going through the back door for approving the expenses. And I just want to ask you, how come the request wasn't done in advance?
Because I have a safety detail in place. So based from legal advice and our police chief, I am not to disclose on my location when I'm travel. And so this is transparency. If it was some backdoor stuff, I wouldn't have put it before the board.
Well, I was asking.
No, but I'm just saying I wouldn't have put it before the board.
Well, it's okay to ask, right?
And it's okay for clarification too, right?
And thank you for that.
You're welcome. Trustee Miller?
I don't have any questions.
Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave is absent. Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour.
Absolutely.
Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 5-0. Thank you all. 1 second, my pen just stopped writing. Okay, next is item D, a resolution authorizing and approving expenses related to attendance at the West Central Municipal Conference event in Springfield, Illinois, for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Abraham. Madam President.
Thank you. For transparency, again, this is for travel for me to travel to Springfield from May 7th to May 8th. And this cost for us to, the conference was free, but for hotel accommodations was $300, and it is in the mayor's line item to travel. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
No, none.
Trustee Senior? Trustee Shelby?
No.
Trustee Armour?
No questions.
Trustee Miller?
None.
Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave is absent. Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour.
Yes.
Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 5-0. Thank you. Next, item E, a resolution authorizing and approving software services agreement with Valor Systems, Inc. for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Senior, seconded by Trustee Abraham. Madam President.
Thank you, Chief. Brian, you want to tell us about this?
Good evening.
This is the actual service agreement to the budgeted approved item that was on the agenda at the last meeting. It's for the Ike Dispatch Fire Department software upgrades. I'll entertain any further questions you may have.
Thank you. Before we go into questions, I just want to say that this is in the chief's budget. The cost for 1 year for this system is $17,597. And then total recurring cost for the year 2 is $7,236. And it is in the fire department's budget. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions? Trustee Senior? No questions. Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Armour?
What item are we on right now?
E.
E.
E like Edward.
Or Ed?
I didn't recall if I heard anything. Why are we waiving the competitive bidding for this contract, Chief?
Attorney Jerusik, you want to explain that to Trustee Armour, please?
That was just standard language that was put in. Actually, this is below the bidding threshold as it is. Anyways, the bidding threshold is $25,000. So there is no requirement of competitive bidding. That's just fairly standard language that we usually put in the resolutions, if, just in case there was a requirement and the village needed to waive it because of an emergency purchase or something. But there is no competitive bidding required in this one because it's below $25,000.
So that threshold is 25,000?
Yes.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. And then, what's the date of the contract, Chief? Is it May 7th, or is it 6/3 today, after the adoption of it, or whatever happens?
I'm sorry, I don't even understand the question.
Chief, I meant to say, Attorney Jaworski, can you help me with that one?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
What's the date of the contract, the effective date? Because I saw May 7th was the effective date.
The effective date, it can state whatever it wants in the contract. It's not really effective until the parties both sign it. So you can have a contract that says an effective date of January 1st, 2024, but if the parties don't sign it until June 1st, 2024, that's the effective date.
That's the
So,
effective date?
yes, the effective date would be the date upon approval, which is today, if the board approves it.
Okay. And then, how many licenses, because this is a management software, right? And so how many licenses? Is 28 plus 3? So it'd be like your whole department, or is it going to be like across the village-wide, or?
Yes, that's for all of our firefighters and for the vehicles itself. They all have terminals that the software is on for the firefighters out in the field.
Okay, so you're really going to be using that technology around, right, and when you're out on the road. And so there is an item to take the information and send it to your cell phone that wasn't part of the contract, the proposed contract. It says it's available. So if it's available, how much is that going to cost?
Well, whatever's in the contract is all we're purchasing, ma'am.
Yeah, I understand that, but that part is not available, and that's going to be a critical part for you and your team when you guys are out. You know, you got to get that information in the palm of your hand. So
I don't understand what you're asking, but dispatch will send the information to our terminals. It'll go to our mobile devices, and we'll have the information in the field. So I apologize, but I don't understand what you're
it doesn't have it in the list on the site that says it's included. It says available. So, and yeah, so that's why I was asking.
That's it, Trustee Armour?
I have, yeah, so is the backup cost for for all of the activity and the data, is that included in that $7,000, is it monthly maintenance or is it
It's an annual recurring fee.
the $7,000 for 2 years, right?
No, ma'am, it's
Is
an
it-
annual recurring fee, so that would be every year.
So it's 17,000 and change for the initial year, and then every other year thereafter, it's the $7,000. Correct, Chief?
Annual fee.
Correct,
Every
yeah.
It's
Every
an
year
annual
thereafter
fee.
would be.
Yes,
Okay. And, like, Valor says that, they will schedule the maintenance according to whenever they schedule it. And so my question to the chief is, could it have an impact when the service is offline? You know, because we could be having an emergency in the village, right? I mean, it could be, and if they're doing maintenance at the same time, I'm pretty sure you'll probably coordinate all of that with them. But I'm concerned about what the impact would be when they're offline doing the maintenance. How does that work?
Mayor, if I may, Trustee, you're kind of getting into some operational stuff that may divulge some operational things that the fire department does in an emergency, which may not be good for bad actors to learn. So my suggestion would be have those conversations offline with the chief.
Thank you, Attorney Jerusik. Any other questions, Trustee Armour?
No.
Thank you, Trustee Miller. Thank you, Chief.
I don't have any questions, but I'm going to say this. I think sometimes we take this personally, and if tonight is an indication of that, then I would have taken offense to the conversation being directed with the chief, and I chair the Fire and Police Committee, and I don't think we should take it personally for anything in that aspect. But sometimes I think we're right that these questions can be asked in advance if we get all of our legislation in time to ask them. So let's just keep all that in mind, too.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Mr. Clerk?
Okay, we'll have a roll call now, please. Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalave is absent. Trustee Senior?
Yes.
Trustee Shelby?
Yes.
Trustee Miller?
Yes.
Trustee Armour?
Yep.
And it carries 5-0. Thank you all. Next, item F, a resolution authorizing and approving an intergovernmental agreement by and between the Village of Broadview and the State of Illinois, acting by and through its Department of Transportation, related to summer routine maintenance of state routes in the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve. Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Abraham, seconded by Trustee Senior. Madam President, open for discussion.
Thank you, Director Ames.
My assumption is that you all have looked over the agreement with IDOT, but the agreement is basically to reimburse the Village of Broadview for the maintenance of the state routes. So, for instance, we cut the overpass, both bridges. We do road repairs. And that being said, IDOT does have, this maintenance agreement that they've entered into with not just Broadview, but several other communities for the maintenance of IDOT roads and right-of-ways, so
Thank you. So, are you finished?
I am.
So this agreement is for compensation for services. So in the appropriation through the state funds, we are allocated to be compensated $35,306, and that's for a period of 7 months. And that's a one-time cost, not monthly. Correct?
35,000 is the annual reimbursement to us for 7 months, so I believe it would work out to about $5,000 a month.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions? No. Trustee Senior? No questions. Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Armour?
No questions. I think you just answered my question regarding the, and the deposit is 50%, right?
Deposit? No, there's no deposit required. What we're going to do is we're going to perform the work and we'll invoice IDOT as any vendor would.
Okay.
So we'll invoice IDOT and they'll pay us according to the invoice.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Miller?
No questions.
Mr. Clerk?
Roll call. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave is absent. Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour.
Yes.
Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 5-0. Thank you all. Next, item G, a resolution authorizing and approving a contract and rider with CDB Electrical LLC for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Abraham, seconded by Trustee Senior. Madam President.
Thank you. Director Ames, you want to tell us about this one?
Mayor, I'd
Is
actually,
this the one you asked me to table?
yes.
Okay, so can I get a supersede motion to table this item?
We'll go ahead and table it.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly motioned to have a superseding motion to table this by Trustee Abraham, seconded by Trustee Senior. Madam President, would this be indefinitely or until the next meeting?
To the next meeting.
Okay, this will be tabled till the next meeting, and I'll take a roll call on that, Madam President, if you will.
Yep.
Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave is absent. Trustee Senior.
Yes.
Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour.
Yes.
Trustee Miller.
Sure, yes.
And this is tabled to the next meeting with a vote of 5-0. Thank you all. All right, item 11, Village Clerk Report. I have nothing for the evening. Item 12, Village President's Report. Mayor Katrina Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk, and good evening, everyone. So I do recognize that we have a board of trustees that have obligations during the day where they can't participate or read their board packet that we send out on either a Thursday or a Friday. And so while we're all busy, even though it may seem like it's personal, but sometimes it's very frustrating when we don't get the information or we don't get the emails to be a more polished and professional board to disseminate the information that comes before this public body. And so I will say this, we have been extremely busy in the Village of Broadview. I had the opportunity to present C4, our cross-community climate collaborative to the House of Representatives Environmental Committee during my time spent in Springfield on May 8th. The local distributed fund, which is called the LDGF, Governor Richard Ogilvie enacted the state income tax in 1969. And the reason why I'm reading this statement is because we get so caught up in the emotions that we forget about what the real work is and how we maintain and how we sustain our municipality financially. And a lot of the trustees are unaware of what's taking place at a state level because they don't go to Springfield to advocate and lobby for the needs on what's best for the Village of Broadview. But I'm that person to do that, so I want to take some time out to educate and inform not only the trustees, but our community of what we're up against in the next upcoming years within the next year 26, 27, and 28. And so until January 2011, 10% of total income tax collections was dedicated to the LGDF for distribution to municipalities and counties. The percentage share of state income tax revenue was reduced from 10% to 6%. following the enactment of the temporary income tax increase in 2011. The percentage share of state income tax revenue subsequently increased to 8%. When the higher income tax rate declined in 2015 based upon the schedule established by the temporary income tax law, in July 2017, the income tax was permanently increased and the local government was reduced to 5.4% of the individual income tax collections and 6.1% of corporate income tax for state fiscal year 2018. For state fiscal year 2021 and 2022, the local government share was 6.06% of individual income tax collections and 6.845% of corporate income tax collections. In state fiscal year 2023, the General Assembly increased the local government share to 6.16% of individual income tax collections to 6.4% in state fiscal year 2024. The state fiscal year 2025 rates remain the same for both individuals, 6.4%, and corporate income tax, 6.845%, and the grocery sales tax estimated. Annually, financial impact of the proposed elimination of the grocery 1% grocery tax on Illinois municipalities, including the Village of Broadview, is $275,000 of a tax that we could possibly not get. And so while we up here having these conversations, we need the Board of Trustees to be proactive, to talk to your state legislators, to get educated to how this is going to be a great impact. $275,000 may not seem like a lot, but when we're talking about our fire and police personnel, if that is reduced, that can be a great impact to public safety. We are elected to protect the interests of the Village of Broadview. There are laws that impact the Village of Broadview, and we are not advocating and lobbying on what's best for the Village of Broadview. That makes us work that much harder, especially when it impacts us financially. We are a small municipality, and we are doing a lot of things. And when we look at our budget, we do a damn good job as it relates to what the department has put before this board, how we look at our bills, how we look at our revenues that come in, and how we expend our funds. And then we get those that don't want to, it is personal. And it can be emotional when you get trustees that want to abstain or not pay the village bills, but we have to pay for health care benefits for our employees. So if you don't have the support of the trustees to make these things go round, educate yourself and get involved on why revenues look the way that they do in the Village of Broadview. I would like to personally thank the UIC Urban Planning Team for assisting the Village of Broadview for our first climate action plan that we will incorporate into our comprehensive plan. I am now asking the residents to take proper care of your property by cutting the grass and keeping the backyards free and debris. It's summertime, it's hot, the animals are out and they hibernating, and we just want to make sure that we are, doing our part. We do receive numerous calls regarding high grass and unkept backyards. If you are a small business owner with a food truck, and this is when it's impactful for the trustees to advocate and talk about the laws and the issues that impact the Village of Broadview, because it can't be just one person telling what the rules are, the ordinance are, or the department heads doing that. It's all of us. We all got elected to say that we was going to advocate on what's best for the Village of Broadview, not our own personal interests, but what's best for the Village of Broadview. And so if you have a food truck, that food truck must be licensed. This ensures public safety and in compliance with the state and county public health regulations regarding food trucks. We do not have our own public health department. We rely on Cook County for a public health department. So we have to put rules in place, and we have to protect the safety of the public when they are serving food. And it's compliancy that comes with that. Every municipality operates different when it comes to ordinances. But we have to put what's best for Broadview to keep us safe from somebody getting sick, and then we have to own because we didn't do our due diligence by making sure that they were in compliance. We had our first retreat over the weekend to discuss our comprehensive plan, and I will say I thought that was just the most impactful, the most acknowledged thing that we've done since I've been holding this seat as mayor, is getting the department heads in the room and getting some of the trustees to take part in the conversation. And I'm sure the trustees that attended, you learned some things that you probably wasn't even aware of. I know I learned some things that had not been on the radar as it relates to the comprehensive plan. But this plan will guide us to the next 20 years, and I want input from everyone. It's not just what's best for the mayor of Broadview or how we look at, but how we cast a vision to move us to the next level. We have to look at the generations behind us and put best practices in place. The comprehensive plan that the village had was from 2006, and it was only for one part of that, and this is why I thought that that comprehensive plan wasn't impactful, because when I read it, it did not cover the entire village. It only covered what they needed, and what I learned was they put that in place so that they could entertain a grant, but they didn't look at the village at large. So we are now taking a step forward and putting things in place so those that come after we all leave these seats, they got something in place that they can look at and they can leverage off of that and incorporate and continue to have the community sustaining in the right direction. And so we want our youth, our seniors, and business, and everyone in between, and our business stakeholders to be a part of this. So be ready to assist us with the plan. Your input is valuable, and we will communicate through surveys, email blasts, community listening sessions, social media, and our website will be kept for the residents to see the progress of the comprehensive plan. Tesca is our consultant that's working with us on this. We've done a lot of the heavy lifting as it relates to water affordability plan, how we look at that. We've done studies on our housing plan. We looked into our economic development and what that looked like, and we're studying our environmental sustainability, so how we sustain environmental-wise, but we also include in technology, and we include in health and wellness, because that's where the future is, in technology, in health and wellness, and how we continue to thrive in the right direction. I did have the opportunity to participate in the International Council of Shopping Centers, that's the ICSC in Las Vegas. This event allowed us to speak with developers and investors in the Village of Broadview, so Commissioner Upshaw and I attended this conference. I also attended workshops involving retail landscapes and private-public partnerships. As we develop our Roosevelt Road corridor, I am eager to know what residents would like to see in our community, because one thing that I learned is out of the 1,300 malls that's like Broadview Square, the same size, set up, the same dynamics, out of the 1,300 plus, we rank number 47 in the nation. Did you also know that that Target store in Broadview has drawn, in the last fiscal year, 2.5 million people have visited that Target? And so when you look at the numbers and you look at the data of where people are going, this is how we have success with like getting a Chick-fil-A, because we are actually thriving in the right direction with that type size mall. Understanding the data helps us attract the best developments for Broadview. So I'm teaming up with a company that we met while we were there to help us with data analytics, so that we know what type of business will come to Broadview and set up, whether it's on the Roosevelt Road corridor or setting up more shops or more stores in the Village Square. We need to tell our story with data and not assumption for growth. So we can always say, well, we should put this here, or we should put a Starbucks on the Roosevelt corridor, but until we get the data and we're looking at the numbers of where people are going within a 5-mile radius of the Village of Broadview, it's just a hit or miss. And so it's time for us to stop spinning our wheels on what we can say what we want as a community, but we also have to be able to provide the data to say this is what's going to be best and practical for the Roosevelt Road corridor. The other thing that I learned was that speaking to leadership from the city of San Francisco, so speaking with them, how they have entertained their downtown San Francisco. So we have a lot of vacant stores on the Roosevelt Road corridor. So when you look at what it costs, and this is what the board needs to pay attention to while we have these vacant stores and why things happen. When you look at the cost for Cook County to rent property in Cook County, it's $47 per square foot. So that could be expensive. So if you just do basic math, if you got a storefront that's 1,500 square feet, multiply that by 40. So that's what the person that's leasing the property will want for rent. And so they want to make a revenue too. They just don't want to be property owners, but they want to make a revenue too. So how do they make that revenue, and how do a small business that want to set up a shop be able to survive with paying that type of rent? And so what the city of San Francisco has done is they have created pop-up businesses. And so Dave and I are looking into this model as it relates to the vacant stores on Roosevelt Road. So we're going to be having meetings with those business owners that own that spot, We are looking into the model that San Francisco have to see if it's conducive, or even if it will work in the Village of Broadview, to see how we can make that attractive so that we have no vacant stores on the Roosevelt. That Roosevelt Road is our main corridor in the Village of Broadview. It's not Cermak Road, it's not 17th, it's Roosevelt Road. And so how we develop that to get stores to attract or small businesses to come to the Village of Broadview to set up. But when you look at the square footage and what it costs to lease a property plus your overhead, that could be overwhelming for a small business owner. So we need to, look at all of our options. On Saturday, June 8th, the Broadview Public Library will be raising the Juneteenth flag. So last year, we'll still raise it at our event for Juneteenth, but the Broadview Public Library will host an event to raise the flag from 11 to 1, so I hope to see you all there. Our former clerk, Sharita Lyles, has been diagnosed with breast cancer. And on June 29th, we will be walking with her in the Pink Divas and Gents Breast Cancer Walk. If you would like to participate, you can go to pinkdivasandgents.org to join Team Sharita. We will send out information in an email and on social media on how to participate and to support our Broadview residents who are in treatment or are survivors of breast cancer. This is a friendly reminder to the Board of Trustees. Our regular board meetings will follow a summer schedule moving forward, held on the first Monday of each month. I advise the board that with all activities taking place, we may need to schedule a special board meeting to keep the village moving forward. Thank you, God bless you, and I look forward to seeing you at the walk with the mayor, Juneteenth, the Park District, music in the park, or just out and about this summer. Good night, and I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Armour, seconded by Trustee Miller to adjourn this evening's meeting. All in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, we are hereby adjourned at 8:56 p.m. Thank you all for coming. God bless and good night.